Getting closer and closer to the start of the season. Got another day of training camp in the books. Let's jump into this. What is up, Fin fans? Today, we got another day of training camp. Quarterbacks did a little bit better. Defense did really better. It's not even English, but I said it anyway. And we got some unfortunate news. But before we jump into all the Dolphin news, you guys are absolutely blowing me away by joining the Patreon. I got a new patron, and this is Charlie Smith, $4 Patreon. Really does mean a lot to me that you guys are joining the Patreon. If you guys feel like you want to, like I said, it's all linked below. There's a ton of special perks for that stuff. So be sure to check it out, but don't feel like you need to. Let's jump into the unfortunate news. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off to jump. Literally, I got home around 4 o'clock, jumped on Twitter. He almost made it. He almost made it. Curtis Weaver almost made it through waivers, but unfortunately, he got claimed by the Cleveland Browns, and he's gone. Fortunately, the Cleveland Browns scooped him up. So in that process, the Dolphins officially signed linebacker Trent Harris back to the team. It sucks. You guys know for a fact I have high hope for Curtis Weaver. Think that he was a steal in the fifth round, him and Strawbridge. And I will talk about Strawbridge in a little bit. Complete steals of this draft. But now he's going to Cleveland. Let's just move forward. I got some press conferences. I got some on the field stuff. I got some press conferences that you guys are probably really interested in. Flores, Rosen. I got Flowers, and I got Grant. Let's jump into these press conferences. We're going to get into the on the field stuff. We're going to get to comment of the day. And hope you guys enjoy this. Let's talk about Brian Flores. He literally, this was earlier today, talked about Curtis Weaver. He says a lot goes into this decision, the injury itself, players' performance, salary cap, next year's draft. He's waived. He could get claimed. We'll see if we'll get him back. We'll know this evening. And like I said, unfortunately, he is gone. And it came down to the wire. Literally, it was like an hour before we would have got him back and put him on IR. The Cleveland Browns grabbed him. Talks about Kyle Van Noy, who was back at practice again today. Again, it was not a big injury. He had like his hand wrapped. Not that big of a deal. He said his hand is a little banged up, but he's dealing with treatment. He was back at practice today. So kind of like the Jerome Baker injury, just a little banged up. And he's back at practice. Nothing to worry about there. Talks about Josh Rosen. He actually talks about Josh Rosen a lot today. He says, like all the quarterbacks, he has his good moments and he has his bad moments. Of all the quarterbacks, he's probably got the biggest arm you need from a situation and leadership. I don't know what he meant there, but a little high praise from Josh Rosen. I'm going to talk more about Josh Rosen because he had his press conference today. Talks about Eric Flowers, another guy who had his press conference today. He's got a lot of experience in this league. High draft picks, played for a few teams, a lot of ups and downs. He's learned a lot. He's taken those young guys under his wing. To me, what better of a guy to do that? Yeah. I agree. You know, to take this leadership role on and to build off of that, he has had a lot of ups and downs throughout his career. Last year had a very resurgent, career with the Washington football team. That's what I'm going to call them now, because of moving to guard and having a very good year there. So, rookies? Why not learn from a guy who's been through it all? Talks about Nick Needham. He said he's made a lot of improvement over the course of a year. He's matured a lot, taken on a lot of professional approach from his rookie year, and made some strides. Nick Needham at the beginning of all this, at the beginning of camp and everything, he's kind of been quiet and, you don't hear from him. The last couple of days, he's been really taking off and really doing well. Talks about playing rookies. He says, we play the guys we feel gives us the best chance to win. The rest a little bit is forecasting / predicting. We need to do. Where a guy might not be better than a guy in week 1, but he might be better in week 12. You guys will never know what I'm thinking. So to try to decode what he's saying, you're kind of trying to forecasting and predicting how these rookies are going to play. Some guys might play one way week 1, and like you said, week 12, all of a sudden they're playing completely different. Nick Needham, Eric Rowe, those are the types of players that progressed as the season went on. He says everyone needs to practice and prepare. We are closing in on the cut day for the first week of season. So a lot of you guys have been asking, hey, when's cut day? I think it's been like 2 or 3 seasons that they don't do like, all right, this amount of number at this point. It's just one cut day now. And now, especially with the camp only being about a month and a half. Cut day is on September 5th, Saturday. I will actually be live September 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that is cut day, is September 5th. He talks about Rosen's fit with the team. He says Josh is competing. He's competing like everyone else. I think we're, halfway through camp. We're not anointing any starters. This is still a competition. I think he's going to make his role wherever he fits in. I will keep talking. Like I said, Josh Rosen came out. He had his press conference. I have a lot to say about that. But yeah, he's competing. Everyone's competing. No one has been anointed a starter anywhere on the entire team. Byron Jones has been having ups and downs. Xavier Howard can't even get on the field. Iggy's been doing really well than that. Same thing with Nick Needham. A lot of ups and downs. No one has been anointed starters. He talks about Raekwon McMillan. He said, started a lot of games in the league. Good tackler, good communicator, smart player, makes plays. In the kicking game, still ascending. I think he's doing well. There's a lot of competition at that linebacker spot. And it is. Gruger Hill and Roberts and all these guys they brought in is a huge competition at the linebacker position. And then finally, he talks about the final roster hasn't been, but we're getting close to it. 7 out of 11 camp practices. So this was camp 7. We have 14 camp practices. So essentially they have 7 more camp practices. So he said that, the final decision hasn't been made yet. Now I'm going to talk about some other press conferences, and then we're going to get into the on-the-field stuff. Because what Josh Rosen had to say, and listening to Josh Rosen talk, it just makes you like the kid even more. And for me, you guys know for a fact, I'm not a Tua person, and I'm not a Josh Rosen person. I am the best person that's available for the team to help us win. But I will say that Josh Rosen, after this press conference, he made you like him more than you already did. So let's talk about it. He talks about on the Dolphins drafting Tua. He says it is what it is. I just got to come out and try as hard as I can right now. I'm just focused on improving every day. I'm focusing on my development at this point, and I think it's going pretty well. He even talked about last year, and I'll get into that. He needed to take a step forward. So right now he doesn't care about anyone else but himself, getting himself better. And when they call on him, if they call on him, he's ready to go. He said he hopes to get the nod at some point in the future, working on reading the defense, working on not holding on to the ball too long and making the offensive line look bad. And I love that Josh Rosen said that, because so many times do quarterbacks hold on to the ball too long or take too long in their processing, and they get sacked, and then people blame it on the offensive line. Oh, the offensive line was garbage. He got sacked this many times. You cannot look at stats like that. You have to look at film and gameplay. Because if you just look at stats, so look at, Derek Carr, right? He was the most sacked quarterback that year with the Houston Texans. How many of those sacks were on the offensive line? How many sacks were on him being a rookie, holding on to the ball too long, making too many reads? Can't all put it on the offensive line, but you all can't put it on the quarterback. Like I constantly tell you, it's this yin and yang with the offensive line and the quarterback. Same thing with the receivers and the quarterback. You put that ball in the spot and the receiver drops the ball, the quarterback's going to get his completion percentage drop down. It's an ebb and flow with this whole situation on his limited snaps. Because yes, lately Rosen hasn't been having as many snaps as Fitz and Tua. He says that's not up to me. I'm just trying to control what I can control. I think I've played pretty well. I'm just trying to put the best product out there I can. Doesn't make sense to focus on anything else. He's got a very zen feeling to his interview. He said he didn't ask to be traded because I'm competing, learning, and treasuring the moment. I don't know when or where, but I'm focused on preparing for that shot. So there was that rumor out there that teams were interested in Josh Rosen. Teams were contacting the Dolphins about Josh Rosen. He never at one point said, hey, I want to get out of here, trade me, because he's learning and he's doing his thing. He actually talks about, I think it's the next thing I want to talk about, the feel of the quarterback room. But let's move on. I feel more positive because I've noticed I'm a lot more comfortable behind center than I was last year. I walk up to the line with a plan. And again, I talked about his biggest downfall last year was everything up here. He has the arm strength. He has all the ability to make the throws. He needs to make the throws. He needs to read the defense and all that stuff. So the fact that he's even saying that he feels more comfortable walking up to the line, he has a plan, he can pinpoint stuff, it's very good to hear. He talks about the new system. He says it's overwhelming every year. At first, it's like drinking through a fire hose, but then always at some moment it clicks. And if you ever tried to drink through a fire hose, don't, because you'll probably snap your neck. But it's a lot. It's a lot at one moment. And if you can imagine Rosen, this is his third offense, how Tua feels in his first NFL offense. Got to give these guys a chance. Not really focused on winning a job as much as I am getting better. I bounced around a little bit already. My pace right now is, I don't even know what I wrote. My development as a quarterback. So he's more. I'm telling you, if you can see the chicken scratch that I write on these things, he doesn't care about trying to win. He wants to develop, become the best quarterback he can be, and make his career that much better and take off like a rocket. He also talks about having Fitz and Changaley in the quarterback room and how fun it is, and how he just makes it feel like he can get better. Now, going off of what Rosen had to say, it seems like a completely different kid from his interview being drafted, and that like snarky attitude and his interviews, till now he's more concentrated on getting better and not his perspective or what people think of him. And I like that. I like that about this kid. Never hated the kid. I always gave him a chance, and I will always give him a chance. And I like that about him. Let's talk about, Eric Flowers real quick. Says, coming home to Miami, back here, he said, I wouldn't trade for anything. I'm extremely happy. Crazy, I used to go to practices and games as a kid. If I never got injured and I continued playing football, I got drafted by the Dolphins, I'd probably be just like him. Ecstatic, even though I'm not a hometown kid in Miami, I'm up in Jersey, but being that I'm a diehard fan, it would be amazing. Talks about him as a leader, and we talked about this in Brian Flores' press conference. He said he didn't learn the importance of that. Practice the right things, taking the extra time. It took him 4 or 5 years to get that. And him being one of the leaders, if not the leader on the offensive line, makes me happy, because, again, being with the Giants, he sucked. Going to the Washington football team, he got a lot better, so he knows what he needs to do. He knows where he needs to progress, and he can help these rooks. Then we're gonna end it with Jakeem Grant. He says, getting his opportunity, I've been waiting for it. I'm ready for it. He still wants to race Breida. He says, somebody asked him, and he cut the reporter off. He says, you're not going to beat me. I don't care about Matt's 22 point whatever speed. They have to race. I want them to race, but I don't want them to race because, God forbid, they get injured or pull something. But they got to race. I got to see who the fastest person in the NFL is, because we got both of them. He's been playing a lot of slot his life. It's nothing playing it. I feel more comfortable playing it. And he actually talked about Jarvis Landry, his first year in the league. Jarvis Landry taught him a lot of slot. He'd be a perfect slot receiver for us. So that speed, the size, everything. So don't be surprised if it's Jakeem Grant, Preston Williams, and Devontae Parker as our starting 3 wide receivers. And the last thing is he talks about Devontae Parker, and he messes with him, telling him he's 200 pounds. Jakeem Grant says he's 200 pounds with Devontae Parker. If you haven't seen that video of him messing with Devontae Parker, and he kept bumping him, it's hilarious. He says, I'm definitely not 200. I'm close, though. I'm getting there. I just tell him that because he likes to weigh in with a backpack and shoes on. I love Jakeem Grant. I think he's absolutely hilarious. Okay, now on to what happened on the field. Now, I notice a lot of you guys, like, if I pop up videos and stuff, you guys are like, hey, do more videos. I would absolutely love to have more videos to pop up for you guys from practice. If you guys have been with me for the past 2 years, when I did, training camps and stuff like this, I would pop up the videos because the Miami Dolphins and their social media would give out more videos. Being that this is so close and tight-lipped, I bet, yesterday, the only video I got was that to a touchdown. And that's what I showed you. So if I don't show you a video, it's not because I'm like, it's because I got nothing. Of me recording this right now, the Miami Dolphins haven't released anything on Twitter for me to show you. I do apologize for that, though. But let's talk about what happened on the field. First time that the NFL officials were there to help throw flags and get these guys acclimated to that. Like I said, Kyle Van Noy and Frazier were returned to practice. Preston Williams had his day off. Again, they're intermediately bringing him on. Jakeem Grant wasn't there. He had a minor injury. Laird and Kirk Merritt. Kirk Merritt was not at practice, and it was undisclosed why, and Laird had an injury. And Ricardo Lewis left, and he never came back from there. Let's talk about plays now. Tua, he had 2 touchdowns. One was a short little red zone pass. The other one, a nice pass for a touchdown. He did, unfortunately, have an interception to Ginkle, or Andrew Van Ginkle. One of you guys said, if you're going to say his whole name, I'm going to call him Ginkle. It is what it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. He batted the ball at the line of scrimmage and then literally ran back and got it. So it was a very good interception by Ginkle. Just unfortunate that it was bad at the line of scrimmage, and that was the interception. On Tua, Fitz, another day of just being Fitz, 5 touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 running touchdown. Had a good day. Fitz doing Fitz things. And Josh Rosen had 1 touchdown to Chester Rogers in the red zone. And then there's a lot. Now, this was a defensive game. We'll practice. A lot of pressure from Agba and Shaq Lawson, which we want to hear. I don't know if that's good for the offensive line, but again, if they play against somebody who's not as good as Lawson or Agba, maybe they'll be like, oh, this is way easier. But this is what we brought them in for. Ton of pressure by them and a ton of batted balls by all 3 quarterbacks. All 3 quarterbacks had a ton of batted balls, which means these offensive linemen need to get their hand on these defensive linemen to stop the batted balls from happening. Like I said, Agba had a great day. He broke up a screen. He was beating up on Jesse Davis all day and was the main reason for the quarterback struggles. Strawbridge continues to rise and would have had a would-be sack on Tua. So, yes, we lost Curtis Weaver today, but Strawbridge is coming in and doing his thing like a chicken wing. Nick Needham, like I said, having a strong day. He's getting some more rolls. Mac Hollins had a good day today. A nice one-handed catch from Fitz. Balazs, now. We all want to hear good things from Balazs, right? Well, he broke off a huge run. He broke multiple tackles and then broke off a huge run. I'm hoping and praying Balazs bounces back from last year. And then Rogers and Perry were doing punt returns, and Perry dropped 1 of the punt return balls. And that is what happened today at camp. Lots of news coming out of camp today. Fortunately, like I said, Curtis Weaver is now with the Cleveland Browns. They claimed him. I honestly didn't think a team would claim him. And the fact that the Cleveland Browns did, why would you do that, Cleveland? Flores, Rosen, Flowers, and Grant had said some great things in their press conferences, especially Rosen. Like I said, if you guys want, go Miami Dolphins YouTube channel, go watch Josh Rosen's press conference. He's just more calm and zen and on his own, and it's really good to see. It's really good to see. And then, like I said, Tua, he didn't have a day like yesterday, but you'll see it. And people have tweeted it out. He's more confident. He's got a little bit more of a swagger to him. He's making more throws. He's doing his thing. He's progressing. Is it as good or better than yesterday? No. But I like to see the progression from him. I like to see that he's doing his thing. Yes, the interception that was thrown was on a 2-point conversion that would have probably lost us the game. But it was a batted ball at the line of scrimmage and a very good acrobatic catch by Andrew Van Ginkle. So I think that the team is progressing. I think that the team is doing better, especially on the defense. The defense is super good, super scary. But be sure to comment below. I'm very interested in what you guys have to say about today's camp, and I'm getting to your guys' comment of the day. And this comment comes from Greg, and Greg says, comment of the day. Does Josh Rosen have a legitimate chance to play? From everything I'm reading, he's been the best quarterback of camp so far. That comment was from day 3 of camp, but I felt like it was a good comment for especially today because there's a lot of Josh Rosen talk. Josh Rosen had a stint of a couple days of good camp. Then he kind of fell off and he got quiet, right? And you'll see that with camp. You'll see some guys will have a couple good days built up together and then all of a sudden they'll fall off. A couple good days and then a couple bad days. It is what it is, and you want to see this happen in camp, not on the field. I talked about that. But the fact that Josh Rosen is not so much concerned about, I need to be the starter, I need to beat these guys, and more concerned on getting better at reading the defense, doing pre-snap stuff, post-snap stuff, sky's the limit. You have to just let the process play out. Trust Brian Flores. He's going to pick the best quarterback to start for us, whether it's Fitz, Tua, or Rosen. I trust it, and I know that he wants to win. Because there's no more, this year we're building. If you think that Brian Flores is content with just building another year, and if we go 5-11 or 6-10, that he's like, hey, we did a little. No, Brian Flores wants to win, so expect that to happen. But that's the video today. Like usual, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Unfortunately, a lot of times when news like Curtis Weaver happens, I tweet it out first. But a lot of stuff that happens, I tweet it out, and I have very good conversations with you guys on Twitter. I also put it in the community, so be sure to check out the community, but be sure to follow me on Twitter. Fan to Fan Network. They're going to be trying to be doing live streams on Twitch every Thursday and Sunday. This Sunday, they're going to try to do another roundtable. So go to twitch.tv/fan-to-fan network. Check out their website and the YouTube channel that they're building. DolphinsTalk.com, great site with a ton of Dolphin content. I'm on there. Other YouTubers are on there. Go check it out. But other than that, if you like the video, you like the content, you like me doing these videos, be sure to hit the thumbs up. It lets me know, hey, Doug, keep doing what you're doing. And hit that subscribe button. We just broke 14,000. I think we're at 14,100 something. Let's get this sucker to 15,000. Let's just keep on building it. I do this stuff for you guys, and I greatly, greatly appreciate the support. I think the Dolphins have camp tomorrow. Again, they only have about 7 practices left, and cuts are on the 5th. Season starts for them on the 13th. So I don't know the definite days of practice, non-practice, but if there is practice tomorrow, you'll get a video. If not, when there is practice, you'll get a video. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.